we're back, and boy, that was you know, for me that was a long movie, and there was just too much talking in it. It moved very slowly. It was this soap opera with definitely love triangles. Alfred Hitchcock later remarked on Hume Cronyn's script and screenplay, and said that he was a very good actor, but he was not experienced as a script writer. And I think we saw that in tonight's film with just lots of parts that the dialogue just wasn't very interesting. The performances, and we'll talk more about this in a second, were excellent, but just lots of parts that weren't very good. In fact, Hume Cronyn, who we're talking about, who wrote this, tells a story where Alfred Hitchcock, I guess they were towards the end of writing this, and Alfred Hitchcock sort of said, this film is going to be a bomb. I'm going to lunch. And maybe he saw something and they had to make it, but this was not a financial success. This was a financial disaster. One of the reasons this was a financial disaster is audiences were really mad at Ingrid Bergman at the time. It was too scandalous. She ran off with this guy. She's married to a dentist, Dr. Bergman, I believe, and running off with this Italian film director did not help her career at the time. And the other thing was it was a suspense film with, I think it's Alfred Hitchcock says I made audiences wait an hour before there was any suspense in it, and you can't really do that. So what have you? It lost so much money that the bank that financed the picture repossessed the film, and it was out of production for a long time. In fact, this is the film that was one of the hardest ones to get, and it's one of the least known of Alfred Hitchcock's color later films with big stars. I mean, let's face it, it's got Joseph Cotten and Ingrid Bergman, and yet no one ever says, oh yeah, this is definitely in my top 10. Somebody out there loves it. I read a review that the title said Dullsville, and that really made me laugh. It said it all. I must admit, I was able to enjoy the performances more. I was able to enjoy Ingrid Bergman and her terrible Irish accent, but to definitely see some of those long takes, the beginning, where they're all meeting for dinner and none of the wives show up. That was one big, long, continuous take, and very well done. The takes where, the scenes where the two men are walking outside underneath her window, and then we pan up to look in her room. I mean, it's beautifully shot and all that sort of thing, but it really drove Ingrid Bergman nuts, these long takes. And to me, really not necessary, and he doesn't ever do it again. So I think he's got his film. But let's take our hat off to Alfred Hitchcock for the innovation, for Rope, the innovation for this film. This guy was a risk taker, and sometimes when you take risks, they don't pan out, and that's sort of, we've seen that before. But boy, the risks he's taken so far has given us some wonderful movies, and we're about to see some really wonderful movies where he took some very, very big risks. So. The alcoholism that Ingrid Bergman portrayed, again, was very, very good. Not so well portrayed in the film The Lost Weekend, where Ray Milland won the best Oscar for Best Actor. I gotta have a drink. I gotta get that drink. Where'd I leave my booze? This is much more realistic. Alcoholism probably isn't very pretty, and this is what it looked like. So yeah, the cameo was at 13 minutes and 3 seconds. There he is in his little hat, and Now, did anyone notice that the governor was Mr. Todhunter? He was the lawyer, the barrister in Lady Vanishes, on that movie on the train, where he was with his mistress and didn't want to be seen and that sort of thing. So he was in that. But Ingrid Bergman really wanted this role. I mean, she really wanted to play the Doctor in Spellbound. She really wanted to play in Notorious. And Alfred Hitchcock chose this film to lure her, to lure her into making it, because she really wanted to do it. It just didn't turn out. So maybe what we're finding is that being your own producer is difficult, to be the director and to be responsible for the story and to pick your own actors and do all sorts of things, and being the producer is probably too much. And just so you know, this is the end of Transatlantic Pictures. They begin the next picture, next week's Stage Fright, as a Transatlantic picture, but eventually it's taken over by a studio, and that's that. So very good. That's all we wanted to say about this one. 1949, the best picture was a film called All the King's Men, which we've seen, and it's okay. Gregory Peck was nominated for Best Actor. He didn't win for a film called 12 O'Clock High, and I saw it. Diane didn't. This is excellent. This is a very, very good movie, and I highly recommend seeing it. We also saw a movie with a bunch of other actors that were in, or going to be in Hitchcock movies. The one, Irene Dunn in I Remember Mama, Oscar Homolka, who was in Sabotage, where he kills little Stevie. Little Stevie has the bomb in the film. Well, he doesn't kill him, but he dies. Oscar Homolka is in I Remember Mama, and a very young Barbara Bel Geddes is in I Remember Mama. She narrates the film, and we just love her in Vertigo, which is a movie to come, also with James Stewart. So good. Okay, so we're done with 1949, and we're happy that we're out of this transitional period, because next week is the next phase, and we're in for a string of really great films, starting with next week's film, Stage Fright. So good, so we look forward to that, and we're loving the comments, so keep all those comments coming. And so from our couch to yours, we will see you next week.